Coming up on today's Rockland News Morning Briefing, it's Wednesday, October 28th, 2025. First of all, Clarkstown police arrested a DWI suspect caught driving 101 miles per hour with a child in the car. One person was rescued after a head-on crash on Spring Hill Road in Ramapo. Nyack seeks public input on 15 downtown improvement projects. And the Salvation Army is planning a new 35,000 square foot disaster relief warehouse in West Nyack. We want to thank our many sponsors for Rockland's News: Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp, located in Hackensack, New Jersey, Kobe Sushi with a new music lounge that has opened their jazz on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and many other sponsors that we'll get into, but let's get right into the weather. And in case you're tuning in and looking for my co-host Mike, who's a lot more charismatic than I am, and he checks me well on the show. We're kind of like turning into Curtis and Kubi in the morning. He's Kubi, I'm Curtis. But yeah, he actually is traveling. So safe travels, my brother. Looking forward to having you back on the show in the next week or two. But we did our preparation in advance. So let me give you the weather for today. Today's very cloudy. I mean, you can obviously see it by this point. It's 9:07 a.m. on October 29th. And I awkwardly forgot to change the music. And there it is. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Everything's cool. Everything's fine. It's fine. All right. Wednesday. Cloudy as meatballs. And 56 degrees high, low 46. Tomorrow it's going to be rainy, high of 59, low of 48, which kind of sucks because we're going to be doing a Black Sabbath tribute over at the world famous Casa Open Mic Jam. That's going to be taken care of by our friends Electric Beef, and we're looking forward to jamming out. So check it out tomorrow night, Thursday, and apparently bringing an umbrella. Okay, next up, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's going to be mostly sunny on those days, but it's going to be like, teetering on 60 degrees, just below 57 degrees on Friday. That's Halloween. 58 degrees on Saturday. Sunday, it'll be 57 degrees. And Monday, it will get into the 60s, 61 degrees with a low of 41. And for those of you that are planning to take their kids out for Halloween, the high the low is going to be 47 degrees on Friday. So bundle up, kids. Make sure you're safe and getting around with the parents and keeping all things safe. Again, I want to thank our sponsors for the show. Again, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp, located in Hackensack, New Jersey. Kobe Sushi, like I mentioned, they got a new music lounge. They got jazz on Wednesdays and Saturday nights. Fantastic facility located in New City. We have two realtors that support Rockland's News: Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty, as well as Lauren Molino Muller from Howard Hanna Rand Realty. Whole Shot Bagels, located in Haverstraw, New York. Fantastic breakfast and awesome coffee over there. 99 Signs. A business without a sign is a sign of no business. Check them out at 99signs.com for your lawn signs. You see a lot of them around the county right now. Workforce Development Board of Rockland County, that's rocklandworks.org. Get a job. It's a great place to get free training, free preparation. Yeah, preparation for your next career. And you can learn more about them at rocklandsworks.org without the stutters. FZ Perfection, located in Congers, New York, auto body repair shop. As a matter of fact, Frank was integral in an event that happened yesterday. We'll get into that in a little while. Clean Space Maintenance Management Company, located all across Rockland. They helped us to get some stuff that we needed to get out of the house and into the junk receptacles and places that we didn't need to have the stuff in the house anymore. Very appreciative of them. That's Clean Space MGT by .us. Sparkling Clean Homes, located in Highland Falls, New York, 845-641-3223. If you're looking to get your entire home cleaned, call Sparkling Clean Homes. And of course, Rockland Music Fest. Special thanks to those that put together the streaming TV app. You can download it right now on Roku for free, And you can check out all the performances that happened over at Clover Stadium on September 27th. Proceeds go to Meals on Wheels Rockland, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary of service to our senior community. All right, let's get into the news. First of all, there was some pretty wild stuff that happened on the roads over the last few days. In Clarkstown, a DWI suspect was caught driving 101 miles per hour with a child on board. A Bronx woman is facing charges after Clarkstown police say she was driving 101 miles per hour on the New York State Thruway with a child inside the car. Officers reported that 40-year-old, I'm not going to mention her name, just not. You don't need any more pain right now, person, but kind of messed up. If this is the case, was drifting into another lane and nearly struck another driver before being pulled over. She was taken into custody and charged with driving while intoxicated and reckless endangerment. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Another driving incident. Emergency crews responded to a serious head-on crash Tuesday morning on Spring Hill Road involving a silver car and a tractor trailer. The Spring Hill Community Ambulance Corps reports that one driver was trapped inside the car and had to be extricated before being transported to a local hospital. The car sustained heavy front-end damage, but the cause of the crash remains under investigation. The Village of Nyack and its New York Forward Local Planning Committee are asking residents, business owners, and community members to weigh in on 15 potential projects aimed at improving downtown Nyack. Now, an online survey is open through November 2nd, allowing participants to share feedback on which projects would most benefit the village. Ideas under consideration include a new mixed-use zoning district at the Gateway, renovations to the Edward Hopper House, that's a beautiful place, by the way, and the Elmwood Playhouse, public art installations, and upgrades to the Broadway corridor. The committee will meet at Village Hall on November 5th at 5 p.m. to review public input and finalize recommendations for state funding. And details are available at NYF, as in Frank, or feedback.com. The Village of Haverstraw is reopening applications for its downtown facade restoration program under New York State's Downtown Revitalization Initiative. And if you recall, several years ago, Haverstraw won the DRI grant for, I believe, $10 million, and carefully curating it, of course. The program assists commercial and mixed-use property owners with storefront upgrades, accessibility improvements, and energy efficiency projects. Applications are due by November 25th, and forms are available at the Haverstraw Village Hall on 40 New Main Street or on the village website. A public workshop will be held on October 28th. Oh, sorry, already done. Guys over at Rockland News, please, at Village Hall to explain program details and answer questions. And still, Mayor Michael Kohut can be contacted for more information at 845-429-0300. Michael Kohut has been on our show several times. We appreciate always that he's here and a lot of really good feedback. I still remember to this day, it was like 2 years ago, they're doing the holidays in Haverstraw, and they're doing the tree lighting, and they did the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, turn on the electricity, boom, no lights. All of a sudden, from the left-hand side, I saw Michael Kohut just like running up and diagnosing what the problem was, and and not like being a jerk, like hey, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna take care of that, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna get that done, and within like about 15 seconds, boom, the lights were on. This is a man that in my opinion, cares about the village in which he is mayor. The Salvation Army has proposed construction of a 35,000 square foot warehouse on its 440 West Nyack Road property, where its Eastern Territory headquarters is located. The new facility would centralize the organization's disaster relief supplies, such as bottled water, bedding, and clothing, currently stored across several buildings, Documents filed with the town of Clarkstown indicate that about 91 trees will be removed to clear the 5.3-acre site. I'm sure those trees will be recycled into proper usage because, we try to take care of our environment too, through a nearby wetland and will remain undisturbed. The warehouse, 34 feet high at its peak, will include 38 parking spaces and be used primarily during disaster recovery operations. Architect Peter F. Gaito and Associates says that the project will improve efficiency and strengthen emergency response capabilities. Stony Point student Agne Adamoskate, I hope I'm saying that right, a Stony Point native and a senior at Manhattan University, has been named the recipient of the John L. Palisades Scholarship, which includes a $10,000 reward. Whoa! The scholarship honors first-generation college students in the liberal arts and sciences who demonstrate strong academics and community service. Adamoskite, a public health major, maintains a 3.97 GPA, serves as resident advisor, and works part-time at Mercer, a professional services firm. The award recognizes her commitment to learning and service in the spirit of Manhattan University's LaSallian mission. LaSallian. The Rockland County District Attorney's Office, in partnership with the Suffern Police Department, will hold a gun buyback event on Saturday, November 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Leo Leiden Community Center, 118 Yorkshire Drive. Participants can anonymously turn in firearms for prepaid gift cards, $500 for assault rifles, $250 for handguns, $75 for rifles or shotguns, and $25 for non-functioning or replica guns. Wondering if they do anything for squirt guns. That's really all I got over here. No identification is required. Well, that's good because I don't want to tell people about who owns a squirt gun. All firearms must be unloaded and placed in a trunk before arrival. Rockland County District Attorney Tom Walsh says that the initiative aims to reduce gun violence by safely removing unwanted weapons from circulation. Makes sense. The Rockland County legislature, tired today. The Rockland County legislature has voted unanimously to adopt the Jared Lloyd Act, expanding benefits for volunteer emergency responders and honoring Spring Valley firefighter Jared Lloyd, who died in the 2021 Evergreen Court blaze after helping save more than 100 residents. Hero. The law extends financial assistance to survivors of volunteer firefighters, EMS members, auxiliary police, and rescue teams, providing up to $1 million in benefits per line of duty death, distributed over 10 years. Legislator Paul Cleary, who sponsored the measure, said that the act ensures that families of fallen volunteers are not left struggling after their sacrifice. And as colder weather starts to arrive, Rockland County will reopen its seasonal warming center for the 25-26 winter on Friday, November 1st at the Dr. Robert L. Yeager Health Center in Pomona. Operated by the Department of Social Services, the center provides shelter for up to 75 adults nightly with meals, showers, and laundry available. It remains open during the day when temperatures drop below freezing. Evening transportation is offered from Nyack, Haverstraw, Spring Valley, and Pomona. For assistance, residents can call the DSS Warming Center at 845-364-2332. And finally, with Halloween approaching, the Rockland County Department of Health is reminding residents to celebrate safely. Officials note that children are twice as likely to be struck by a car on Halloween than any other day. Commissioner Dr. Mary Leahy urges parents to ensure costumes are visible, use flashlights or glow sticks, and remind children to walk on sidewalks and cross at intersections. Drivers are advised to slow down and stay alert in residential areas during trick-or-treat hours. Additional safety information is available from Safe Kids Worldwide and the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. And for our interview today, we have something special. And as you know, I got on the air a little bit later than usual. It was like around 8:55, I think. So thank you, those of you that tuned in. You're probably at work right now and not listening to this, but we're still doing our thing. Basically, I have an interview that I'm going to be running right now for Sazón y Pilón. Now, Sazón y Pilón is located in Stony Point, New York. We've been struggling with how we're going to further address the transmission pipeline crisis that's occurring in Stony Point. There's a lot of bad information out there right now. And we want to make sure that we toe lightly because our job is to report the news accurately. So we decided on this. There's a lot of businesses out there that are struggling in Stony Point. For one, we have Sazón y Pilón, which is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful restaurant, little small restaurant tucked away in Patriot Square inside of Stony Point. Now, it's their second restaurant. I've been there several times. Actually, I'm not on the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce board anymore. Well, we used to hold meetings over at Sazón y Pilón. It is a gorgeous little restaurant. If you want to take your significant other or a friend or a colleague there for just, kind of like after hours, grabbing a bite to eat, they have the most amazing mofongo that I've ever tasted in my life. And I'm half Colombian, so I definitely appreciate Latin American food. This is a place that really does their thing the right way. So without further ado, I did this interview on Tuesday with the owners, Manny and Gabriel. And these guys and their friends, they've been friends for many years. They met through their wives that are mutual friends for also many years. But without further ado, here is the interview I had with Gabriel and Manny from Sazón y Pilón. Okay, so we are here with Gabriel and Manny from Sazón y Pilón, located in Stony Point, New York, as well as in New City, because this is the second restaurant that you guys opened, if I'm not mistaken, yeah?
Yes.
So thanks for being on Rockland News today. I wanted to get a little bit of insight, and you all have known each other for a while now, so how did you two meet initially?
Well, our friends have been, our wives have been friends since childhood.
Okay.
For a long time. That's how we came across. We've been pretty much together ever since. We're friends, pretty much like family right now. So.
Okay. Yeah. So you know each other pretty well, and yeah. You obviously have a culinary and restaurant background. Did the idea for the restaurants happen in the last 10 years, 15 years? Like, how did it come about?
Manny's been in the restaurant business for a long time. Me and my wife actually moved up here because of Manny and Millie coming up here to visit them. And then we moved up here from the Bronx, and Manny came up with the idea, we want to open up a restaurant, and voila, we're here.
Yeah. So it's just like probably over drinks maybe. And you want a restaurant? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's open two.
So pretty much, just like my partner said, I've been doing this for a long time now. So
yeah.
I have another business in the Bronx that I've been there about 23 years now. So that was my first business that I opened. And then from there, we expanded. We came up here, and we had gotten the opportunity to do this spot here as Fit and Fresh. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember Fit and Fresh, yeah.
Fit and Fresh through friends as well.
Yeah.
We came here to help them. And then we had the opportunity to do something in New City. That's only belong there. That's when I invited Gabe and Erica to join us in the ventures, and we opened up Sazón over there. And then we tried to Fit and Fresh here for a little bit, like a year, but it wasn't as easy as we thought it would be.
Yeah.
So we just went for the idea of switching into the Sazón y Pilón. That was the best option for us.
And you did a lot of renovation. I was in here before and after, and I mean it was juice drinks, right? Juice drinks here. And then very, not suddenly, but it looked at, you were like, okay, we have a surprise coming for you. And I think it was like 2 or 3 months later, and then Sazón y Pilón in Stony Point opened up.
Yeah. So we were here, like I was saying, our other friends were here, as fit and fresh, and they were just selling pretty much just acai bowls, juices, protein shakes, things like that. And they were here for about 3 years, but they were like kind of, they were kind of struggling with that as well.
Right.
That's why I came in here and said, you know what, let's add a kitchen. We added the kitchen, and we started adding some great food along with what they had already to offer. And from there, they decided to leave because they didn't want to go into the food part of the business, so they left, and they left me and my wife alone. So we just continued with it, and we said, okay, you know what, let's do what we know, which was
play to your strengths, yeah.
Dominican, Puerto Rican cuisine, and that's what we did, and it just blew up like that after we did it. It was pretty good.
And for your part, what is your role in the restaurants?
Anything that the restaurant needs, we're partners, and we try to do as much as we could, together on everything.
So essentially, it's any given night, you're basically like anything that needs to happen, you guys just make it happen. So there's no really title. It's like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do, like, it kind of like blends together.
Yeah, Manny's a good cook, so he jumps in the kitchen. I just, I do my repairs, I do this, I juggle whatever I could.
Make sure the ship is running smoothly, sort of thing.
Gabe is being honest. He's very, very important to the business. We run the business together. Nothing happens without me and Gabe talking about it first.
Yes.
So we sit down and conversate, and my wife and his wife, we all sit down and we conversate about changes or anything new that has happened to the restaurant. I pretty much run the day-to-day operations. And along with my wife, Gabe, and Erica, we're actually making this business a successful business.
Yeah.
The first one is very good, which is a new city. This is the second. This is actually the second one. Like I said, Fin Fresh was pretty difficult, but now with Dave and Erica, this has blown up. This business has blown up, and pretty much did a lot better since we opened.
Yeah. And right now, as we're speaking, it's a Wednesday night, and the place is fairly hopping right now.
Yeah, thank God, we've been okay.
Yeah.
Along with it is hard work.
Of course, yeah.
Service. Number one thing is the service, and then food. The food has to be fresh. It has to be good. It has to taste good. It's authentic. It's what our clientele look for, and we're glad to give it to them. Bring this to the Stony Point area.
Been here a few times. We were here at the ribbon cutting through our local North Rockland Chamber of Commerce. They also hold meetings here. I also stopped in for some mofongo. That is awesome. And I gotta tell you, shame on me. And I'm half Latin American. I know I don't look it, but like I'm half Colombian. But I love Latin American food, and I didn't ever try mofongo. And it's delicious. Wow. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
We definitely take pride in the mofongo. Yeah. We take so much pride in the mofongo that we excel in that one, especially that one dish. Right?
Yeah.
So we're pretty much, we feel like we have one of the best in the tri-state. Mofongo. And,
all right.
And, we come, a lot of our customers always come back from the motherland, whether they'll come from Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic, and they'll be like, wow, I went there and I couldn't find a mofongo better than yours. And it makes us feel so good when they tell us.
Yeah, we get a lot of people driving from the city just to come get our mofongo.
Huh. I sense a marketing plan happening. Like, our mofongo can kick your mofongos. No, don't do that. But it is amazing. Any other dishes that you recommend here? You obviously have a wide array of culinary choices. You've got a full bar over here. Anything that you recommend if people come here to try?
Well, definitely. We definitely cook. We have a roasted pork. It's called pernil. It's that's another traditional Caribbean food, the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. And we cook it slow overnight. 8 hours, slow roast, and it's tender. It's delicious. The right amount of ingredients. And that's very popular here for us. Pernil, which is roasted pork. Then we also have the mofongo, and we have tostones, and we have our rice. Our rice is very good here also as well. White rice, yellow rice. We have a great array of seafood. Red snapper, whole red snapper at that. We have calamari. We have this paella. I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. Well, that would be. If I didn't have that, then I should leave.
And we have something that probably most restaurants don't have is a chuleta cancan that we make here.
Okay.
That is a Puerto Rican staple.
It's
And
like,
it's a cut of meat that's hard to get.
yeah.
We do serve it here.
It's a tomahawk pork chop, right? Tomahawk pork chop.
All right.
And you probably won't get it in a lot of restaurants around here.
It just sounds cool. Tomahawk pork chop.
Very nice.
All right.
Very good.
That's cool. Well, Gabrielle, Manny, thank you for joining us on Rockland News today. And we look forward to being here. Yeah, absolutely. So, and give us the address here.
The address here is 32 South Liberty Drive, Stony Point, New York, 10980. The one in New City is 191 South Main Street. That's New City, New York, 10956.
Okay. And the web address, in case you wanted to check it out online?
It's one word, and it's Sazon EP, the name of the restaurant, Sazon Epilon. So it's SAZONYPILON.com.
Awesome. All right. There's a little bit of traffic outside right now, but ladies and gentlemen, if you see any traffic, believe me, push through. This place is fantastic. It's well designed inside and out. It's a beautiful ambiance, and the food is fantastic. Sazoni Pilon. Gentlemen, thank you for being on Rockland News today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And that was our interview with Gabrielle and Manny from Sazon EP Lawn. Let me just bring up the website. It's sazonepilon.com. That's SAZONYPILON. And they are located, I'll give you the exact address. There's two different locations. The one in Stony Point is 32 South Liberty Drive in Stony Point. And there's the one in New City, 191 Main Street. They also have an awesome Halloween party going on. I'm not going to be there because I have another event to attend, but definitely check it out. These are really cool guys, and they do it right, in my opinion. And again, I'm half Colombian. I know I don't look it or whatever, but who the hell cares? It's like presenting, not presenting, whatever. Bottom line is this: is that I do feel a connection with Latin American, especially cuisine and coffee. Make my own coffee from scratch every morning. There's no instant in this house, just absolutely not. So this is a place that does it right. Okay. And our restaurateur, Caesar A, is also going to be doing just a standard restaurant review. So that's not just about my opinion. I also want Caesar to chime in on this because he's a lot better. He's a little bit hoity-toity, but he's talented. So thank you, Caesar, for all of your restaurant reviews. You can catch more of them, his restaurant reviews, over at rocklandsnews.com. And we are posting the articles for this week as we speak. So that's, most of the show. There's a few events that are coming up, and then I just want to bring in another update of No Names. First of all, Thursday, tomorrow, October 30th, there's going to be a Ozzy Black Sabbath tribute over at the world famous Casa Open Mic Night. Casa del Sol, they've been doing this for years. On Thursday nights, they typically have an open mic where there's a house band that'll perform a little bit, and then you could just jump in on the back line and play drums or guitar or bass or sing, or hopefully you're good at it. And it's just a fantastic time. And tomorrow night, Electric Beef is going to hold down the back line, and they're going to be doing an Ozzy Black Sabbath tribute. I'm also going to be there with my friends from the band BS Tribute. And we'll be playing a few Ozzy and Black Sabbath songs. What's funny is I've been really tuning into the album 13. It was the last album that Black Sabbath recorded with Ozzy. It was released on January 1st, 2013. So it's a pretty damn good album, and we'll be playing a few tunes from that if you're around. And of course, we'll be playing some of the classics, and there's other bands that'll be doing their thing. So world famous Casa Open Mic Night tomorrow, Thursday, October 30th, over at Casa del Sol. I think it starts sometime around 7 or 7:30, whatever. Just stop by there, grab a drink, hang out, and enjoy yourself. 2 Trains, Dave Keys. I'm going to say the world famous Dave Keys, because the man is a musician, artist, traveler. 2 Trains is Dave Keys' new album, which is releasing. He's doing a release party at the Turning Point on Saturday, November 1st. He's doing 2 shows, 5 p.m. and 8 p.m., and you got to check him out. And finally, Rockland Fashion Week is going to be on November 8th at the Palisades Center from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. As I mentioned last Wednesday, we had an interview with Hope Wade Fashions. She has a store in downtown Nyack, and she is the creator of Rockland Fashion Week. This is her 6th annual fashion show. And like I said, it's like all inclusive. I don't like using like the buzzwords like all inclusive, not inclusive, anything like that. Bottom line is there's all just like, everybody gets along, A, which is the most important thing. And B is they got some really, really, really cool designs. I look like a schmo. I mean, if you looked at me right now, you'd be like, this person should not be on the runway. And he won't. Like really talented people from all walks of life will be at this show. And hopefully everybody's going to have like a pretty darn awesome time. And finally, this is going to be a 2-segment piece. First, I'm going to give you a quick update on the Stony Point retail crisis as a result of the transmission line that's being installed on Route 9W. And I'm going to finish up with an episode, segment, or whatever the heck you want to call it at this point, of No Names. So last night, we attended the Stony Point Town Board meeting, and it actually, unfortunately, wasn't well attended, and I think it should have been more well attended, especially given 2 things. 1, the retail crisis, and 2, Jim Monahan's final board meeting before the election, Supervisor Jim Monahan. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this because this is, basically I'm going to bring up a part of this in the segment of No Names, but I'm just going to give you a quick report of basically what happened. It looks like the business owners are getting together and they're planning to sue. Now, if you've been following the story over the last several 8 months, basically there's a transmission line that's going through Rockland right now. It's a 339-mile pipeline that's going from Canada all the way down to New York City. Eventually, once it's live, it's going to supply New York City with up to 20% of the energy that it consumes. So that's the good part, in my opinion. Unfortunately, and this has been an ongoing 12-year, ongoing challenge, we'll say. Unfortunately, the pipeline at the moment is being installed in Stony Point and Haverstraw and parts of Clarkstown on Route 9W, which is a main traffic artery for Rockland County. It's decimated the retail businesses that are along 9W because, you just imagine this, you got construction that's happening literally in the ground, underneath the ground, right in front of a storefront. How many people are going to go into that store? So that's a problem. Now, and again, this is 12 years of negotiation and everything. The postscript to this is that there have been numerous protests and public meetings, press conferences, basically saying that New York State and/or the pipeline provider, Champlain Hudson Power Express, the transmission line provider, needs to help the businesses that are suffering. The current estimate is $10 million collectively that the businesses have lost as a result of reduced foot traffic into their stores and establishments. Last night at the town board meeting, and Supervisor Monahan was out there. I don't have the audio queued up, but I'll have it queued up for tomorrow because I took recordings of the meeting. And basically, one of the biggest contentions is that the towns have gotten $31 million to help community streetscape community funds, basically to help the towns and villages after the pipeline construction is done. So a lot of it is earmarked for streetscape, sanitation, and basically Supervisor Monahan confirmed what he had been saying all along, is that they can't use the monies for giving to private businesses. Now, here's why. And I have been searching for this information literally for about 2 or 3 months. And it's not like I'm spending every waking moment, but when the opportunity arises, research. But basically what he said is that he contacted our state comptroller. If you recall, I believe it's Thomas DiNapoli. And in a very long and detailed meeting, DiNapoli and or representatives of the state comptroller's office confirmed that you cannot give businesses, private businesses, you cannot give them funds directly from this particular bucket of money. You just can't. It's illegal. Now, of course, this sucks. It sucks. It just sucks. There's no other way of putting it because, and my heart is with the businesses. I've said this multiple times. My family had a bike store in West Haverstraw, and we struggled through that for many years. So I get it. The retail margins are like, in a restaurant, it's 3 to 5%. So if you lose a significant amount of revenue, and a lot of these restaurants have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, your profit margin is just a small segment of that, 3 to 5%. So, you're making less and less money, and, got to pay the employees, got to keep the lights on. So it's a mess. But those funds have been confirmed that they cannot be used for giving to private businesses. It was also confirmed that there's no way of establishing a grant through the North Rockland Chamber, and then subsequently the chamber provides it to the businesses. However, if the governor of New York State, Kathy Hochul, declares a state of emergency for the businesses in this area, there are mechanisms to be able to accomplish this. And it also is going to fall on Chippy, of course. Their current offer to remediate the businesses is $150,000. Now, we don't know if there's any negotiations going on further, but the North Rockland Chamber is integral in this process. So, and several members of the North Rockland Chamber were at the town board meeting last night. Mary Morrison Rodriguez, Rocky Alexander. And Rocky actually came up, and he was the one that mentioned that, the businesses are getting together, and quite frankly, they're lawyering up. Michael Dietrich, who's a well-known lawyer in the area. I know him for many years. He actually came over to the Jam, the Fiesta Acapulco Jam several months ago. So, I know him, and he looks like he's going to be the lawyer on the case. Now, make no mistake, this is a very, as they said, David and Goliath sort of battle, because when you have lots of lawyers versus one lawyer, there's a bit of a time disparity there. Economies of scale certainly do come into play. So we will be following this all the way through and seeing what happens. For my part, we're going to segue into the episode of No Names, because there was another piece that did occur last night that I'd like to address. And this is, by the way, purely my opinion. And I try to keep actual names out of it, because this is not a show in order to shame people or put them down. But there are some things that have hit me close to home, and I feel that it's necessary to address them. I've said this several times before. You're probably going to pick up on the nuances of this, but there is a subversive organization that was established in Stony Point many years ago. Not going to name the name. I'm not even going to name the president, but between the lines, if you've been following this debacle, what I'm talking about. And this organization has been quite integral in being, and I looked up the definition of this word, and I think it works perfectly. Subversive. Let's look up the definition of subversive. Subversive, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, a systematic attempt to overthrow or undermine a government or political system by persons working secretly from within. That is this organization to which I am referring. Again, no names. God forbid I get sued. But this organization has been responsible, in my opinion, for many, many, many subversive acts that would have, had they not been involved, better for the area of Stony Point. And I'm going to give you a few examples right now. All right. First of all, there's been protests and rallies publicly on here. And hey, you have a right to protest and go out there with your signs and everything. Hey, if it's your opinion, great. And we do live in a free country to be able to protest. But here's where I draw the line. At several meetings that I was on, and this is while I was on the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce, and I decided to step down at the end of last year because I did see the tide changing and I didn't want to be a part of it, and it's fine. But basically, this other organization has basically been at meetings and organizes a bunch of people to show up and shout down, in my opinion, well-meaning individuals that are trying to improve the quality of life in Stony Point. Not just businesses, but residents. And several examples of this have to do with, say, for instance, when, I'm going to say Chippy had a community relations event where they met with the public there to explain. They had demonstrations. They had a whole bunch of different materials explaining the process. And look, I get it. I totally get it that, oh, of course, you certainly want to make sure that this goes through the entirety of North Rockland as quickly as possible and expediently. But I do need to remind subversive said organization that your organization, through your nudging and cajoling, and we just want transparency, that pipeline could have been A, in the Hudson River, B, by the train tracks, C, by the Revolutionary War Cemetery, not through it, by it. And ultimately, when the organization had no more options, it got onto 9W. What did you think was going to happen, you morons? What did you think was going to happen? Did you really think that New York State was going to say, oh, well, you know, the fish and the train tracks and the cemetery, let's just not give New York City 20% energy over the next decade or two? Did you really think that you were going to stop? Oh, no, I get it. Give peace a chance, right? Well, your peace that you've given a chance has been, in my opinion, one of the things that causes enough subversion in this area to now get railroaded. And not just the people traveling up and down Route 9W, but also the businesses, damn it. How dare you? And how dare you last night show up at a meeting and walk the fence yet again? Walk the fence, act like you had nothing to do with the ultimate decision that shows up on Route 9W. How dare you? And that's not just the end of it. Okay, I've seen this behavior from your organization for 12 years. You showed up at the Letchworth Village idea to bring in a hotel conference center by 3 prominent individuals that live in the area and are admittedly well off. Oh, that's such a sin that they actually did better in business than you did, and came up with a plan in order to buy the Letchworth property, get it remediated from all of that debris that's in there that's been sitting there rotting for 15 plus years, and then sell it to a hotel conference center. A hotel conference center that is absolutely sorely needed in this area. We have West Point up the road. We have beautiful, beautiful areas that people can visit along the Hudson River. Tons of restaurants, music. Why not a hotel conference center? But no, they show up with spreadsheets and you show up with your protests. screaming down people that they're trying to logically state. You talk about logic, they were there with logic. I was there and I shut up while your hippy dippies turned around and acted the fool. But you got what you wanted. Through the subversive tactics, somehow the public spoke and they shot down the agreement. Let's go on because there's more. A friend of mine once said to me, tell me how you really feel. Well, this is how I really feel. How about the water desalination plant? Suez, now Veolia. They were going to have a beautiful water desalination plant in West Haverstraw. Now, let me explain what water desalination is. You take the salt out of it so that you can drink it. Last time I checked, drinkable water is a good thing. But no. That doesn't make sense. That makes absolutely no sense. That's not sustainable. That's not environmentally friendly. That's not renewable. And again, same tactics. Show up there, by the way, in West Haverstraw, which is outside of Stony Point. Show up in West Haverstraw, and yet again, apocalypse, big government, terrible people, billionaires, Get over it, dude. Get over it. What else? Oh, this is how I met you guys. We can't have a digital billboard in Stony Point. You know why? Because they're worried about the environmental footprint that it could cause. That was one of my first encounters with said subversive organization. Oh, and let's not forget that one of the many members of this organization also sued the town of Stony Point for live stream airtime. They didn't get it. They wanted it, so they sued. They lost, but guess who ended up paying for the bill for the lawyers? Stony Point, which came out of every one of the Stony Point taxpayers' pockets. Distributed across 15,000 people, of course, but still, come on. All right, that's the least of the problems. All right. Then on top of that, just throwing this out there, the one singular issue that I agree with this subversive organization, the establishment of a new library, which admittedly is going to cost the taxpayers some money, some considerable money. It's $1.4 million per year. So that's a lot. But hey, guess what? This organization would be for it. They were nowhere to be found. Not a peep. At this point, I really don't care about my reputation in Stony Point. I have lived here for 30 plus years. And I've only had the purgatory of dealing with this organization for the 12 years. And a lot of the time I had to keep quiet because, quite frankly, being on an organization that's supposed to help the local businesses, we're supposed to be nice to everybody and then shake hands. Yeah. Well, I resigned at the end of last year. And as the year trudges on, all right, and we've had a lot of successes, a lot of failures this year as usual. We finished the Rockland Music Fest over at Clover Stadium approximately 1 month ago. Very happy about that. All right. But I, as a resident of Stony Point, okay, I am so effing tired of this subversive organization. And again, I'm going to read it to you again, what subversive means. Okay. Subversive is a systematic attempt to overthrow or undermine a government or political system by persons working secretly from within. Okay. Look, this isn't a communist organization. This isn't some sort of a socialist movement or anything. This is just a bunch of idiots with stupid ideology and nobody's standing up to them. Well, let me tell you something. And I have a bad habit of stepping right into it. I don't know why. It's just something in my DNA. Okay. I am volunteering with myself to once and for all diminish the narrative that this organization presents to the public. Because, like I said, it is subversive. And that's my episode of No Names. Obviously, I'm pretty passionate about that sort of thing. But listen, if you have any questions, if you're interested in meeting up or talking, let's do this. I'm really passionate about making sure that Stony Point in the future does right. I'm not going for political office or any of that bull. There's people that really do it a lot better than I or many of you out there can do. And I also want to, I hope I'm not making this worse for him, but I want to thank Supervisor Monahan from the town of Stony Point for 10 years of being an awesome supervisor. And Jim, if you're listening to this, I want to mention something to you. I didn't tune in to your administration early on. It was when Supervisor Finn left. He and I, we worked on the Hurricane Sandy thing. I know you were on the board and everything, but I really, I didn't know you. And when you got into office, it was kind of like a wait and see approach, just to kind of like, feel out what you'd intended to do and what was going on. And I really looked at it from an objective standpoint. In my estimation, over the last 10 years, you have done an amazing job aiming to build up Stony Point to what it is today. It sucks that this thing happened on your watch, but as we all know, there are powers that are bigger than us that we just can't control. And you mentioned that last night, but that's not your fault. I know you've fought hard for Stony Point, and ultimately we're going to come out of this. We're going to come out stronger, better, smarter, and hopefully less subversive. So I hope you enjoy as you head out of public office. I hope you enjoy some peaceful times for a considerable amount of the future, and you can look back with pride on the good works that you've accomplished over the last 10 years. And that's all of our news for today. I want to thank our many, many sponsors for providing. Okay, there we go. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for Rockland News. We're going to mention our sponsors really quick. All right, we want to thank Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp located in Hackensack, New Jersey, Kobe Sushi with a new music lounge, Jazz on Wednesdays and Saturday nights, Wednesdays and Saturday nights. Susan Bovum from Coldwell Banker Realty, Lauren Molino Muller from Howard Hanna Rand Realty. Whole Shot Bagels, 99 signs. A business without a sign is a sign of no business. Workforce Development Board of Rockland County. You can go to rocklandworks.org, get some really great training. FC Perfection, auto body repair located in Congress, New York. Clean Space Maintenance Management Company, Sparkling Clean Homes, and Rockland Music Fest. My name is Tom Osa. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time. Stay tuned.